Hey guys, I'm Jesse Hammond, and I'm doing the country of Austria, Austria in the workplace. So as you can see, I've got Austria in the workplace, and I'm going to start. So, what are their views about work and work rules? Well, Austria has a very strict laws for the protection of employees, some dating back to the 1950s. Although changes are being made in order to adapt to the more competitive environment, general working conditions are very favorable. Um, and I'm going to show you guys some maps here. We've got a map of Austria, and we've got some gorgeous pictures of Hallstatt, as you can see. Time. What is their approach to time, especially with regard to starting and end times for meetings, being on time, expected response time for action requests, hours of the regular workday, and so on? So their standard working hours are 8 hours per day, 5 days per week, typical, just like us. Extra hours have to be paid, and Austrians tend to go to work early, and you can expect workers to be at work at 7 a.m. and white collars not later than 8 a.m. Beliefs. What are the dominant religious and philosophical belief systems? Well, they have a freedom of religion is a statutorily guaranteed right in Austria, just like here in America. Starting with the patents of tolerance, having been created over a period of about 2 centuries. Of great importance for the individual is the constitutional guarantee of freedom. They're basically Christians with some Catholic and some Muslims. So as you can see here, I got some pictures of some churches. Their churches are absolutely beautiful. You can look some up yourself. Give me 1 second here. I had an issue with my slide loading. So, what are the views of equality of men and women? Well, the article of the Austrian Constitution includes a commitment to gender equality to promote de facto equality between women and men by eliminating existing inequalities. So, essentially, they have an equality law in their constitution, just as we do here in America. Also, on the European Council conclusions on the EU's plan of action for gender equality, with the objectives and actions to promote gender equality are mandatory. So in the European Union, it is mandatory. And what I have here are some pictures of women. I use traditional dress just so you guys can see, but I wanted to show some Austrian women. Personal relationships. What degree of value is placed on close personal relationships among people doing business with each other? When doing business in Austria, it is essential to appreciate that business etiquette is of great importance to your Austrian counterpart. They're very conservative. Austria is a nation that is strongly individualistic and respectful, and in turn it expects high standards of its business partners. Any unethical behavior will seriously diminish all future business negotiations. And they value order, privacy, and punctuality. Very conservative, very prudent, and very moderate in their behavior. They respect perfectionism in all areas of business and private life. And in their approach to work, they tend to focus on achieving the task at hand. So let's see what I got here for you. So I just wanted to show a picture of a work environment. Again, they're very conservative, very prudent. Teams. What part does teamwork have in their business, and accordingly, how is individual initiative viewed? Well, hierarchy is very important to Austrians. Titles and degrees are very important, and they place great values on these titles. They even use them in their names. Teamwork in Austria revolves around individuals who work on tasks given to them by the team leader. The team members would expect to be given clearly defined instructions and goals by their manager and will then expect to be allowed to pursue those goals without too much interference or questioning. People would not really expect their team roles to be interchangeable, nor would they expect to be asked to do all the tasks allocated to another team member. Demarcation lines can be quite strong. Cross-departmental teams can often prove very difficult to manage as people are asked to make decisions in a vacuum that might adversely affect their area of hierarchy. Thus, decisions made at cross-departmental project group level are often revisited after group members have reported back to their supporters. Now, communication preferences. What type of business communication are valued most? These are some particular things to be there are some particular things to be concerned about when using verbal and nonverbal communication with Austrians. Generous personal distance. Eye contact is expected and respected. Austrian behavior in public is generally reserved and formal. When answering the phone in Austria, it is normal to identify yourself with your last name. Communication is formal and follows strict rules of protocol. Austrians are at the same time reserved and direct. There is little joking or small talk in the office. World War II and the Holocaust may be very uncomfortable topics for some Austrians. Meetings come in all shapes and sizes and are more important than ever in business today. There are the everyday office meetings, board meetings, and seminars. Meetings can now be face-to-face, teleconference, video conference, or online via the internet and are a common form of corporate life in Austria. Meetings are taken very seriously in Austria and may go into considerable detail. Business meetings follow a formal procedure. Austrian managers work from precise and detailed agendas, which are usually followed rigorously. Moreover, meetings always aim for decisive outcomes and results. Rather than providing a forum for open and general discussion, the formality of a meeting may make it difficult for an outsider to assess how things are going, but a lengthy examination of a proposal will indicate serious intent. Negotiating. What are the expectations for negotiation process, and more specifically, how do they convey negative information? Well, attitudes and styles to Austrians. Negotiating is usually a joint problem-solving process. While the buyer is in a superior position, both sides in a business deal own the responsibility to reach an agreement. They may focus equally on near-term and long-term benefits. Austrians tend to be more emotional than their German counterparts in business. Avoid confrontational behavior or high-pressure tactics, and do not make the mistake of insisting that everyone agrees with your opinion or attempt to hard sell. This can be counterproductive in the long run. Austrians can be disagreeable if deadlocked in a deal. There is sometimes a tendency to avoid confrontation to the extent of promising rather more than they can deliver. And body language. What types of body language are the most common in the culture, and how do they differ? Well, while dining, keep your hands on the table. Putting your hands on your lap during dining is seen as rude. To signal for a waiter in a restaurant, you should raise your hand with your index finger, as extended. To wish someone good luck, make two fists with your thumbs tucked inside the fists, and make as a gesture like you are slightly pounding on a table. To specify the number 1. Use your upright thumb. To specify the number 1, use your upright thumb. While driving, a rude gesture in Austria would be to twist your finger in a motion towards your head. That specifies that you think the motorist is not doing so well. Nonverbal communication. Although Austrians prefer third-party introductions, they do not need a personal relationship in order to do business. Generous personal distance is found between speakers in a conversation. At least an arm's length between two speakers is generally expected. Eye contact is expected and may be interpreted as the opposite while being in... However, eye contact demonstrates attention and interest in a conversation. Avoiding eye contact may be interpreted as the opposite while being in Austria. Austrian behavior in public is generally reserved and formal. Thus, waving and shouting at a person who is far away may attract negative attention. Austrians enjoy quiet and privacy. Business cards are exchanged without formal ritual in Austria. Have one side of your card translated into German, although not a business necessity. It demonstrates attention to detail. Include any advanced academic degrees or honors on your business card. If your company has been in business for a long time, include the founding date on your card as it demonstrates stability. I believe that I believe I am, and we are a little more liberal in our communication and business here in the U.S. We have the tendency to be somewhat informal, and we shake hands, and in some instances, we have informal hugs with one arm for distance. I think that we speak informal in a lot of instances. Our tech giants, for example, have some very laid-back companies where people have lax work hours and people dress less formal, like Facebook, lots of these businesses in California. People, they play with toys and skateboard around the business. Business meetings are more informal over food and drinks, even in some instances where working together on an equal plane is far more important to get to the bottom line or solve a problem. So writing options. What writing conventions are the most important to them, especially in prose style and the organization of information? How important is design of the document in relationship to content or organization? I know that with their conservative take on things, that providing proper documentation and citing is very important. What business documents I could find were very similar to the rest of Western culture, so it's very similar to our own. And that is all I have for you. I will end with the pictures of Austria. Thank you, folks, and I hope you have a wonderful Christmas.